there's going to be another one. And we have to prepare for that, and that's the job of first responders everywhere.
That's the FBI agent in charge of the South Texas church massacre investigation. He and others know it's true. Well, now some Texas politicians say it may be time to address the issue that for years has been too hot to handle in Texas. Reporter Alana Rocha with us. She covers the state capitol for the Texas Tribune. Really a possibility of a chance of success in gun-friendly Texas?
Well, you do have the senior senator, John Cornyn, who's the number 3 in the Senate, rising to the floor this week saying he intends to file legislation, maybe not to address gun control directly, but definitely to find out what went wrong here with current law. The fact that, the Air Force has admitted it failed to report the shooter's criminal background to the proper authorities, so it was in the system and he was unable, to purchase a weapon. He did say, Cornyn, also on the floor, that he plans to maybe partner with a senator from Connecticut across the aisle, so it could expand maybe beyond background checks. But yeah, that was definitely a surprise given his clout in Washington and the fact that he is a Republican here.
Basically, then, he and others are talking about enforcing the laws that are already in place. I mean, for goodness sake, the military should have reported this guy, that he had been committed to a mental hospital, that he had been convicted of a crime that would have prohibited him from, and then he lied on the form. So, I mean, there are a lot of existing laws that are just not being enforced, and that is the NRA's viewpoint.
Right, and that's the crutch of Cornyn's legislation. And keep in mind, too, the facts of this case do give, Republicans in particular some cover in having to address the gun debate directly. The fact that the Air Force did fail law and did not report this is one loophole. The fact that you did have a, quote, good guy with a gun who's credited for at least, stopping the gunman after he killed 26 people and maybe killing more. So you do have some cover there. But yes, Cornyn's legislation would essentially incentivize military branches and federal agencies and then ask state agencies to make sure that such information is reported to the proper authorities.
Dallas Republican State Representative Jason Villalba, and he's a conservative Republican, moderate to conservative Republican, recommending a commission that would look at and recommend what he calls common sense gun control. As we all know, common sense on so many issues is in the eye of the beholder.
Right, study gun violence. He as a Republican, and then his counterpart, not counterpart directly, but House Speaker Paul Ryan, another Republican with a lot of clout, saying that we need to figure out what's happened here. On the flip side, you have, some Republicans like the junior senator from Texas, Ted Cruz, being asked Monday when he was visiting the area, had just toured the crime scene. He was asked point blank if this is time to look at gun control measures, and he chastised the member of the media, saying that that's why the public doesn't trust the media. This is not the time to politicize it, rather for prayers for those who were lost.
Everyone's saying, including the president, and I think few people would disagree, that a crucial ingredient here is mental health. This guy clearly was a troubled individual. We all talk about mental health. Nobody wants to do anything about it, like, I don't know, pay for it.
Right, and I mean, there was measures passed last session. Representative Garnet Coleman, Democrat out of Houston, himself, talks about how he, has struggled with bipolar disorder, is definitely at the forefront of this argument and trying to get more resources to rural areas like this area where the shooting happened. So, that one's a little more complicated. It is very expensive to address on a grand scale. You have many counties here in the state that don't have vital basic resources like a psychologist or a child psychologist or different professionals like that. So, you lean on telemedicine and look at that. It's a more complex way to address it and definitely lengthier.
All right, Alana, thanks. Always good to see you. You can find a link to the Texas Tribune and to Alana's reporting on fox4news.com. Thanks.